Welcome, my darling Simona. So happy to have you. Hi.
Hi, so happy to see you again.
Happy to see you. Tell us where you are in the world so everybody can know.
Nowadays, I'm not in Africa. I'm in Italy, in Tuscany.
Oh,
I will be back in Africa in 15 days. I'm
oh
just in
wow.
vacation.
I just love that you're international and global and moving around and impacting multiple continents with all
Yes.
of the fabulous work that you do. So tell us a little bit about you. Some people may not have met you. Give us some backstory on you and your magnificence.
Okay, I was born, let's say, as an entrepreneur, and then I worked with family, firm, and brand, and then had my personal career as a coach. And I did so many different things. But most of all, then when I was at the age of 46, with my husband, we decided to stop our businesses because of many reasons. But most of all, we decided that, okay, we have done enough at the moment. And we decided to settle in Africa, where we started a project. I wanted to give back. I felt a very lucky person. So I decided that it was time to give back. And we started a project to help people. And I'm very happy to say that in 2016, I quit that project because now the youth are independent. So I'm seeing the effect, and I decided to give back in a different way. Now I'm training and working with different organizations in different parts of the world. And this is my giving back. As I'm working as a coach and a mentor, and that is my business, writing books and organizing courses and something like that.
It's
I'm married, I have two
fantastic.
children. So
Yeah. Well, it's fantastic because I love that you say giving back because when you give back, you make things possible for other people. And
yes,
you have really reached the success in your life where you did a lot of things, you had your career, you were at that ability to give back to others, and when we give back, we make things possible. Share a little bit about the transition from, because a lot of us are in like saving ourselves, working for ourselves, setting up our own businesses, and it takes some time, it takes a different mindset to decide I'm going to put my energy into giving to others. Can you speak about that?
yes. And first of all, I want to say that I'm living a different life because let's say that I quit my career at the age of 46, but I started again by casualty, let's say by universe possibilities, I will talk about later, at the age of 57, something of the sort. So it's something different from what people usually do. You say, okay, when I retire, but there was a moment where we married very early. So children were already grown up, out of studies and whatever. My husband had a business and it was a successful one, but very demanding. So stressful, whatever. Yeah, you're known, you go on TV, maybe you are on magazine or whatever, but it's cost a lot, obviously, it's a lot of energy. And then one day we were eating in a restaurant and we met somebody we knew. And this person, older than us, looked very, bored and tired, lost enthusiasm for life. And then my husband said, but do we want to end up that way? Because maybe if we go on working this way with all this stress and whatever, is this what we want for our life? And obviously not. And from that moment, we started thinking, okay, what can be different? And that has been a long process. It's not something that you do in one day, but it was becoming conscious on what you really need in life. And we are very lucky, all of us, we have much more than what we need. And that is something, it takes time because, when you are in a specific system or situation, everybody is like you. So you feel that you need everything. At the end of the day, we are human beings. You can eat only such quantity of food. And maybe if you eat less, it's also better for your health. So you don't need you can't wear 200 clothes in the same time.
Right.
So you start thinking in a different way. And that was the beginning. And you know what? When we decided, and this is something I want to say, people, if you take a direction, if you start thinking about something, the universe works for you. And something happens because you were thinking about it and you think with clean heart. So I
Right.
said, okay, what can we do? We decide to go to Africa. We decide, when you go there, you see a lot of things. Africa is big, and you can get very rich people, you can get very modern town, but you can get also people really in need, people that still lives with less than €1 a day, people missing basic needs.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the idea was I want to find a way to really positively impact the life of people.
And
So
is
we
there a
decided,
story? Is there something you can share a little bit about some of the success stories that you've had, some lives that you've impacted?
yes, what I can say is because we started income activity. I mean, we come from a background of professionals, entrepreneurs, and I don't like the idea of charity as giving, because to me, when you give, you put yourself up and the other people is down. I don't like that. The idea was to elevate the people, to make them able to produce what they need, to give them the possibility, the capabilities. And so we grew some youth because we started abroad with different ages, and all of them nowadays is working. They earn very nice salary. They're able to provide to their family, and most of them are role models. I mean, they won some prizes somewhere.
Wow.
What happened is, I think, to be sure that what you think, and this is what I want to share with people, when you think something, when you imagine something, your mind can produce only something that you can do. And nowadays, I'm doing something that is totally new again. I'm in a new phase of life. I'm working a lot as mentor or coach. But if you want something, this is something important. Your mind can produce only something that you can accomplish. It's impossible. We have different things, obviously. Your mind, JB, will produce something different from mine. But we have a lot of possibilities. And if you start from what you want, what you want to be, what you want to have, what you want to accomplish, and then you follow up some few steps, you will see that everything will come. It's somehow, let's say, easy. Sometimes you can get insight. I got an insight one time from an old lady. It was an interview, very famous one, a writer, and she was celebrating 50 years of marriage with the husband. So,
Wow.
they were known as a very nice couple, very, very good. So the journalist was giving a lot of questions and then suddenly said, okay, so your husband made you happy. And the lady said, no. And it was a bit embarrassing. And then the journalist was a bit shocked and said, how is it? You are a nice couple. Everybody knows we are here to celebrate. Yes, but it's not my husband who made me happy. I decided to be happy.
Oh,
My
wow.
husband is the best person I could marry, but I decided. So, when you decide something, then you turn your dreams or desire into possibilities because the universe works with you. And is when you get out of your head, when you stop having limiting beliefs, when you say, how is possible? I was the only white person in a board, seventh person inside the government of Kenya. Try to imagine. And people say, but what you want to do? How is it possible? Only citizen can do it. I did it. Simple. Because there was something that was not me. It was the strength of the universe. And another very funny things happened when I quit. I said, okay, now the project is with the youth because I want local people with the local culture. I don't want to interfere too much. I give them the tools.
Very
Now
good.
it's nothing to do with your children. I mean, no, now it's them.
Mm-hmm.
I was not thinking about working again. But something happened and people know, you're not doing, can't you, why don't you please coach me? I was not thinking about it at all. And it happens again when you open up, when you you get out of your mind from limiting beliefs, stereotypes, or maybe it's not possible, or maybe I'm not able. No, you are able.
Yes.
If you are thinking, if you have something you want to do, you are able. And then you can start getting in with people, talk to people. So many nice experience I had. You know, as you, I imagine it happens to you. You talk to people, and then suddenly you have a new partner, you have a new business, you have somebody coming to you, isn't it? It's because
Yes.
you go out to people with full of love, full of real interest in people's life. My dream is to impact, positive impact, at least 1 million people life, giving them the possibility to bring out the best of themselves, to live their life the best they can. And I think that there are some few steps. For example, it's important to be conscious of who you are, what you have. You know, sometimes we keep looking at what we miss. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have this, I'm missing that, I can't do it because I'm too old. You know, when I was around 25 years old, doctor told me that because of a challenge I have in the spine, maybe by the age of 50, I could have been on a wheelchair. I'm much older than 50, and my plan is in January to climb Mount Kenya. And this year I also did something. I said, that is not for me.
Right.
That is not for me. I don't want to be as a doll sitting in a chair or in a sofa all my life. No, absolutely not. So it's a lot of energy comes if you are conscious of what you have, who you are, your experience, your expertise. Then you start saying, okay, what can I do out of it? How can these things help me to achieve what I want?
I like that you said that, like, just because somebody said something about you doesn't mean that it's true. Just
Yes,
because somebody
yes.
said that you can or cannot do something, it doesn't necessarily make it true. You get to define your story. You get to define what you get to do and what you're capable of. And I've really admired that about you because you keep it simple. You don't complicate it. If you have a desire, you go after it. If you have a thought, you're curious about it. We heard the Victoria say that earlier in the summit. Be curious about your challenges and get interested. And then you talked about, reiterated what Francis said about have clarity and really know what it is you want and then have commitment. And you're saying all the very same things. And I really admire that about you. If you wanted to give some advice out of wisdom from the years that you have been doing business and achieving great things, what would be some of the tools or some advice that a person could take home, a golden nugget?
Yes, first of all, is what is my experience is to have very clear your destination. Let's say that to me, life and business is the same, is a big, great, marvelous adventure. And
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about adventure, we are not thinking about something boring. We know that we face challenges and whatever, but it's normal. It's an adventure. So what is important is to have very clear your destination. Where are you going? When you, as the same as when you plan a trip or a journey. So in business is the same. What do you want to achieve? For example, what is the income that you want? Yearly income that you want. This is something I always work with people. And you know, it's marvelous also during the pandemic. Some of the people I was working with, they have business affected, but they got a lot of income.
Right.
Because you have the destination is how much do I want?
Right.
What can I do? What I'm able to do? What is my experience? What are my expertise? How can I utilize this? You know, sometimes it's a way of going out of the normal way you think. Because maybe I do this business, I don't know, I have a restaurant, I get more clients. But then you get more clients, maybe you have more challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can raise the level of the restaurant. Maybe you can increase a bit prices because you give a better service, because you reduce the number of tables, but you have more professionality. So when you have the destination, what is important to remain very flexible. You were saying the same before, because you can get challenges as on a road. It's okay. You can change a bit, but having clear where you're going. Another very important thing is to write down whatever you want to do. You know, most of the time we have everything in our mind, but it doesn't work. So when you have a business, it's important to have clear all the strategies. And what advice is to have one sheet for the income and one sheet for the global strategy. It works. It makes it simple. I don't know nowadays many people does a lot of things. But what I learned in Africa, and that has been a great experience to me, when you make things simple,
Mhm.
you can achieve.
Right.
And it means that you really have the ownership of what you're doing. You don't need to complicate it. So having everything written is also very important. To declare what you want to do, to involve, to have nice relationship with your team, your staff. The world is changing, and people is no longer motivated by what was motivated before.
Right.
So it's very important to have clear what is in the world surrounding you, to understand where is the world or the society going, and trying to identify what is the next step, what is the best to keep people involved. You it's not the business growing, it's the people growing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you to grow because you are the limit. Sometimes you are the limit of your business. If you don't grow, if you don't learn new things, it's impossible. And the second one is to keep your staff or team not only motivated, but let them growing. Let them learn what they need. Keep new ways. For example, people is bored nowadays for meetings and meetings and meetings. Wherever you go, whoever you talk to, they say, it's impossible. You have so many meetings, at the end of the day, you are not able to complete your task.
Exactly.
Make it easy. If a company is working nicely, you don't need so many meetings. Create process from the beginning. Create simple process. Simple, not to keep people busy doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Only what is needed. Simplify everything. Simple sheets, simple forms, something that doesn't take too much time to each one, but it helps the company owner or the business person to have clarity on what is going on. In the same time, people working is not stressed. You know that nowadays also burnout is something very common. So we have to avoid burnout in the people we are working with. We have to avoid rotation of the people. So in my experience, for example, we have a business, we still have some business, but we have people with us is 15 years. And then you have the young people coming because also you need new ideas in
Exactly.
companies, but you also need somebody that is there that is, let's say, the foundation. But the people that stays with you for a long period is no longer the same person. The person is not the same person you knew maybe 15 years ago.
Right.
So it's important also to maintain relationship alive, to monitor where these people is going, what are their new desires, how to help them to combine their experience and expertise, maybe with the new people that is coming, maybe new people, younger people that is having new ideas and can be of great impact. Another tips I use is focus on what is working.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to business owners, most of the time say, this is not going, this is a word, this is a problem, this is a challenge. Great. But if you reached up until here, it means that something is working. So, okay, there are some specific tools, but anyway, it's simple. But let's verify what is working. What is working will give you the possibility to leverage what is working. Imagine what we do as, imagine, I always do this example. Imagine if you are if you are a farmer and you have two pieces of lands. One is fertile with good water, and the other one, the soil is very bad and there is no water. And you have a limited quantity of seeds. Where are you going to plant? Obviously, in the fertile
Yeah, absolutely.
land, isn't it?
Yep.
But in our life, with our children, with our partner, with our business, we look at what is not going. It's the same if you try to plant in a soil that is arid, is not fertile, and there is no water. A lot of energy. For what? You take 10% of what is possible. Let's look at what is working. Try to understand why it's working. Try create process out of it, leverage them. That way you plant in fertile soil.
Yeah, it's really good advice because I think a lot of times people want to expand their business and they want to try something brand new and they want to try something they've never done before. And then they're constantly in the process of figuring out how to do something for the first time. Whereas if you keep doing what you're really good at and keep making that even better and work on what's working, then you elevate that. So that's really great advice. You always have such good ideas and a very sound and solid way of sharing it. I really appreciate that. Is there something that you want to share with our listeners that they could use at home or do in their own lives?
Yes, I want to give them some few steps on possibilities
Yeah, do
because
it. Let's do it.
yes, because as I said, I feel there is a lot of possibilities. So the steps is I was saying, but I want to repeat. You have 4 steps. First of all, if you want to get possibilities, first of all, get out of your head.
Yep.
That is number one. Then get in with people. When you get out of your head, focus on what you want, not what you don't want and what you have. Get in with people. It means help people just because of the heart, because you see somebody in need, doesn't matter who he is. Give compliment to somebody. Share lunch with somebody. Celebrate whatever happened with somebody. Number 3, get into your work. Sometimes if you don't like your work, maybe it can happen. You can find a way to volunteer in an area that you like. But what you can do is to ask yourself, what can I learn?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How can this work be meaningful to me? Or what can I learn that I can use maybe in the future?
Yeah, I
So,
always learn the best way to get out of a job is to grow out of that job, not just
yes,
quit. You want to
yes.
grow out of it. You want to take everything from that job and learn from it to go to the next job.
And then try to do something that is unusual. Get out of your comfort zone. Decide to make standing meetings, for example. If you are a bit shy, try to speak at the meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Learn a new language is important for your job. And then the number 4 to get possibility is look at web possibilities, web opportunities. I give you something very simple. We also do home exchange. This is something we discover and we love it. And you know what happens? That the first person who came to me, as I was saying, to be coached is a person we met through home exchange. Because I was talking about the youth, I was talking about the project, I was not thinking about anything that was job. But this person said, the passion I saw, the love you say, I'm happy when I see people accomplishing, and when I see people living their life fully. This is what I need. When you do this, some steps are to write down, and if somebody wants, I can share later on. Be conscious of, but write down what you know, what you have experienced and experience. Start from what you have and where you are. For example, we did something like this in Uganda, and there is nothing. Sometimes teachers have no classrooms, nothing. And they're always a bit demoralized because how can we teach? Okay. And then we did something with a friend of mine that is dean of faculty and said, okay, what do you have? You can't imagine what came out.
Wow.
Local available resources at zero cost. And from that, how to create some learning material. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
And
we
then
don't
the
even
last one,
realize what we have. Exactly. We don't actually take stock and inventory of what we already have. We're always looking for the next thing.
yes. And then the last one, this is very powerful. Drag and lift. In life, we have these two forces. One is drag and one is lift. Drag is an acronym that is doubts. Doubts are taking us down. Regret is something that doesn't help us to grow.
Right.
Animosity and giving up. So I call it drug, and it means doubts, regret, animosity, giving up. Whenever you have a doubt, is not helping you. Forget it. But lift is very important. Lift is let it go. It's inspiration. F is focus. And T is the one I love. Take action.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time, when we don't accomplish, is because we keep thinking. But it's only when you do it, when you do something that you can learn. If something is wrong, you can correct. So drag and lift, I am sure that if people write down and think about it, it will help a lot, because you will see that one is opposite of the other. So when you have some of the concepts that drag you down, you can use the lift pairing to immediately combine.
Lift. So let go, inspiration. What was F?
Inspiration, focus, and take action.
Focus. There you go. I missed the focus one. Let go, inspiration, focus, and take action. I absolutely will, folks. Take action and enjoy the free gift. And reach out, Simona. How can people find you? At desiredecideddevelopment.com, and can
Yes.
find out more about you. Fantastic. Have a beautiful day in Italy. And I'm happy and looking forward to coming to meet you and spend some time with you in Africa when time permits. You are such a blessing and a joy. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jeremy.
All right. Take care, everyone.